tutorial on how to set up your database connection using MySQL Workbench. The assumption is that you have MySQL Workbench installed and running on your computer. If not, I will potentially do an additional tutorial on how to do that at a later time. To begin with, every student in the class should have received an email, a unique email from me on Wednesday evening. And in the email is an IP address, and attached to the email is a private key file. It's important to note that the private key file and the IP address are unique to you as a student. The key file will only work with your IP address, and your IP address and key file are different from any other student's IP address and key file. If anything happens to these, or to the email that was sent to you, I can always resend it if necessary. I prefer not to, so do take care of it and keep it in a safe spot. Now, the IP address is located right here in the message itself. The number is made up of 4 parts, 4 numbers strung together and separated by 3 periods. Okay, that is your IP address. What's helpful is if you go into the email and you copy this address so that later you can paste it into the right spot when creating the connection to your MySQL server. Okay. The other thing is that your key file here, you probably want to download and save onto a USB stick, and that way you can take the key file into the computer lab with you. You can, unless you're going to bring your laptop every day to class, which is perfectly fine. If you're going to not carry around your laptop, then you probably want to save it onto a USB stick. And the way you do that is just right-click on the file, say Save As, and then just navigate to your USB stick, and tell it to save it there. And so with the key file saved on the stick and your IP address copied into the buffer, then you're ready to go to MySQL Workbench and start up MySQL Workbench. In MySQL Workbench, when you first start it up, it should look something like this. And you go to the plus sign right here to create a new connection. It's very straightforward. Just press that button. And now we need to, right off the bat, change the connection method. So we want the connection method that's most secure, and that is the third one on the list, which is standard TCP/IP over SSH. And this should open up a dialog box that looks very much like this on your computer. Now, you do need to give the connection a name. The name is just a handle that you will use on whatever computer MySQL Workbench is installed on, whether it's your machine at home or whether you're doing this from school. That's where the connection is stored. So probably the most convenient thing is to use something like your portal user account name. So I'm typing in my portal account, and then we already established the connection method. And now for SSH host name, you want to just wipe out the 127.0.0.1 here, SSH host name, and paste in the IP address from the email message that you got. So you still need the :22 on the end, but the first part should be the IP address from your email message. And for username, you need to type in the word BITNAMI. That's Bitnami. Bitnami is the default username. You do not need a default password, but you do need to point to the SSH key file that we downloaded. And just the way to access that is these three dots here. Click on that. Navigate to your USB stick. And there's the key file. Again, ends in .pem. Just hit open there, and it makes that connection there to the key file. Your host name you should not need to change, 127.0.0.1. Your MySQL server port is 3306, don't need to change that. Your username, default username is root, don't need to change that. Your password, you will either need to enter one every time you connect, or you can store it in the vault. It's probably most convenient to store it in the vault. The password is going to be Bitnami, just as it's written up here, Bitnami. But to store it in the vault so you don't have to enter it every time, you can click here and type Bitnami and say OK. And your connection is ready to go. That's all you need to do. And I don't need to test the connection. I could if I want, but I can also just say OK. And that my connection is ready to be tested. Now to test the connection, I will just click here, and it will open up the SQL editor. I may get a warning message that says my fingerprint is unknown. Just press continue if you get that warning dialog box pop up, but that should only happen one time. Once you're in, it should look exactly like this, and this is the MySQL Workbench. We're going to be using this all semester long, so you'll be very familiar with this workspace. The main thing to note is this is the area that we enter our SQL queries, and over on the left-hand side is an area that has information about the databases that we're connecting to here. Otherwise, you're done. Your connection works set up, and you